I'm Todd Matthews. Time for Ask the Lawyer on Kicks Country 92.9 with Bruce L. Shiner, attorney for the injured. You may not know him like I do, but I'm going to introduce you to him, and you're going to get to know a lot more real quickly because he is a super friendly guy that loves to answer your questions. If you've submitted a question before, then terrific. Maybe today's the day your question gets answered. If not, I'll tell you how to submit a question coming up in a moment. Would you please help me welcome Bruce L. Shiner, attorney for the injured. Good morning, Bruce.
Hey, good morning, Todd. How are you doing this beautiful morning?
Just fine. And how are things in the Shiner household?
Everything's going great. The weather's beautiful. Everybody's healthy. We can't ask for more.
That's what I was going to ask. And then, of course, at the office, I know you're starting to transition back to a more normal complement of staff at the office.
We are, and what we're doing is everyone has to wear a mask if they're away from their office or workstation. However, if you have been vaccinated, you're not subject to that requirement.
Very interesting, and a nice incentive as we keep pushing forward towards herd immunity. Well, I'm glad to hear that.
It's so important that everybody gets vaccinated, and the vaccination has proved to be very safe.
Absolutely. I had no ill effects from my first shot at all. Barely even felt the injection site, you know. And then the second one coming up in May, I'll have to let you know what happens then, but I'm on my way.
Okay.
All right. Well, we've got a question for you today, a rather tragic one, but you are especially compassionate in these situations, so we know we're coming to the right person for the answer. Are you ready?
I'm ready, Todd.
All right. Today's question reads as follows. My niece was visiting with a friend at her condominium in Venice. Her 5-year-old son had wandered off, and 10 minutes later, they found him floating in the condominium pool. They were able to revive him by the doctors, but they are saying that he will have permanent brain damage. The condominium pool is usually locked, but the gate was removed while they repaired it. The police indicated that is how her son accessed to the pool. The condominium says the pool area has a sign indicating it is for residents only. Thus, my niece's son was trespassing, and they are not liable for his injuries. Can you ask the lawyer if he can help? Again, tragic situation. Obviously, future medical expenses are going to be enormous. Bruce, what would you recommend?
Well, first of all, it's a very, very tragic situation. And I believe drowning is one of the major causes of death of children in Florida.
Sadly, it is.
So we all have to be vigilant and do everything we can to make sure, you know, that the kids are safe and they're not exposed to drowning hazards.
Right.
As usual, the apartment complex is putting forth a lame defense because almost every municipality, city, county, whatever it is, has an ordinance requiring fencing around a pool. Mm-hmm. So because they're working on the pool doesn't give them an excuse not to have that, you know, fencing up. They could have temporary fencing and, you know, someone guarding the area, but, you know, there's nothing more important than saving a child's life.
Absolutely.
And the condominium had a duty to do whatever it took to make sure, you know, children of a young age can't get in there on their own,
right,
or by themselves.
And what about this idea that the 5-year-old was trespassing? Because, I mean, a 5-year-old sees a pool. That's a very attractive thing. As a matter of fact, isn't there a thing in the law called attractive nuisance or something along those lines?
Well, absolutely. There is a legal principle called attractive nuisance. But more importantly, in this case, she was visiting her friend's condominium. Mm-hmm. So she absolutely was not trespassing. She was there as an invitee of her friend who was a, you know, resident of the apartment complex. So they were there properly. The pool had a duty, or the condominium had a duty to fence off that pool and not allow children in. And I believe that even if they were trespassing, the condominium would still be responsible because of the ordinance or statute requiring fencing around the pool.
Right.
The whole purpose of the ordinance is to protect and make safe our children. And when they didn't do that, they became responsible.
Right. And that's the thing to keep in mind. Any building codes, ordinance, that kind of thing, they're there to keep this situation from happening. And if you don't abide by this, this is what's going to happen. And we have to cut that. We have to stop it. We have to cut that out.
I agree 100%.
Okay, Bruce. So sadly, we have a tragic situation. And again, I think the medical needs moving forward, maybe for the rest of this child's life. Do you think that there's reason to believe they could get a sufficient recovery?
Oh, absolutely. I would imagine the apartment complex would have sufficient coverage, and that there should be a very sizable award to take care of the child in the future.
Right. Probably have insurance for just this kind of eventuality. Okay, Bruce. Well, that makes it seem a little bit of a brighter outcome, as much as is possible under the circumstances. Thank you, as always, for giving us your opinion.
Well, you're very welcome, Todd. I look forward to speaking with you next Wednesday.
As do I, sir. Have yourself a good week.
Thank you. You too.
Okay, bye-bye. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Bruce L. Shiner, attorney for the injured, with the answer of the week. Now, if you'd like to submit a question for possible future consideration, all you have to do is go to the website and look for BLS Bruce L. Shiner. And if you need immediate help, something that's happened and you can't wait for an answer on the radio, call their Port Charlotte office at 941-743-7777. 941-743-7777 for a free consultation. And tell them that Todd Matthews sent you from Kicks Country 92.9.